Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. You have spent too much time trying to prove yourself to people who have already decided they won't see you for who you are. Too much time justifying your dreams, explaining your choices, defending your success or your struggles to people who don't care, who don't understand, and worse, who don't want to understand. Some people will never understand you, not because you're confusing, but because they don't want to. You can explain yourself 100 different ways. Break it down piece by piece, give them your reasons, your struggles, your victories, and still they will look at you like you're speaking another language. Not because you're wrong, not because you're unclear, but because they've already made up their minds about you. You ever notice how certain people only hear what they want to hear? You could be speaking the truth, standing in your integrity, sharing your heart, and yet they twist your words. They take what you say and find a way to make it something negative, something selfish, something fake. That's not misunderstanding. That's intentional. Because if they truly wanted to understand, they would listen. They would see your heart. They would ask questions, not to argue, but to learn. But some people don't want to learn. They want to judge. They want to assume. They want to pick you apart because it makes them feel powerful. And the moment you start explaining yourself, you're giving them exactly what they want. Your energy, your time, your focus. You're playing their game. Think about the last time you had to explain yourself to someone who didn't deserve it. Did it change their mind? Did it open their heart? Or did it just drain you, frustrate you, make you feel like you were talking to a wall? That's because some people don't listen to understand, they listen to respond. They listen to find a hole in your argument. They listen to throw your words back at you later. And yet here you are trying to explain your vision to people who are blind, trying to justify your growth to people who are comfortable being stagnant, trying to defend your choices to people who wouldn't trade places with you for 1 second if they actually had to do the work you do. You don't need to prove yourself to people who are only looking for reasons to doubt you. You don't need to justify your success to people who are too afraid to chase their own. You don't need to explain why you want more out of life to people who have settled for less. Some people are so full of doubt and fear that they can't stand to see you rise. Your ambition threatens them. Your confidence unsettles them. Your faith reminds them of everything they don't believe in anymore. And instead of asking themselves why they feel that way, instead of looking in the mirror and fixing their own insecurities, they attack you. They call you arrogant. They call you lucky. They call you fake. But their words are not a reflection of you. They're a reflection of their own inner battles. And your job is not to fix them. Your job is not to carry their demons. Your job is to stay focused, stay strong, and keep walking your path without looking back. When you start explaining yourself, you open the door for their opinions. You give them permission to judge, to critique, to plant doubt in your mind. And once that doubt is there, it grows. It makes you second guess yourself. It makes you hesitate. And that hesitation, that's what stops dreams from becoming reality. That's what kills confidence. That's what keeps people stuck. You don't owe them a thing. You don't need to explain why you dream bigger, why you work harder, why you refuse to settle. You just need to be. Be who you are unapologetically. Move in your truth without hesitation. Let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip. Let them assume. Because at the end of the day, the only person who needs to understand your journey is you. Some people are walking around every day carrying demons inside them. Demons of envy, insecurity, fear, and self-doubt. And those demons thrive on negativity. They feed on drama, on gossip, on tearing others down. They get stronger every time they see someone fail, every time they make someone doubt themselves, every time they pull someone into their darkness. These people aren't just negative. They need negativity to function. It fuels them. It keeps them going. You ever meet someone who always has something bad to say? No matter what happens, no matter how good the situation is, they find a way to twist it into something negative. You tell them you got a new job and they say, hope it lasts. You tell them you're starting a business and they say, most businesses fail, you know. You tell them about a dream you have and they smirk, good luck with that. They can't stand to see someone happy because happiness exposes their own misery. They can't stand to see someone succeed because success reminds them of their own failures. And instead of doing the work to heal, instead of facing their own demons, they try to project them onto you. They want you to doubt yourself the way they doubt themselves. They want you to question your worth the way they secretly question theirs. And the worst part, they don't even realize it. Some of them have been living in negativity for so long that it's all they know. They don't see themselves as bitter or toxic. They see themselves as realistic. They think they're just telling the truth, just keeping it honest, just looking out for you. But in reality, they are poisoning every room they walk into. They bring a storm with them everywhere they go, and if you're not careful, you'll get caught in their rain. You have to protect yourself from people like this. You have to recognize when someone is operating from a place of darkness. Not everyone who smiles in your face has good intentions. Not everyone who gives you advice wants to see you win. Some people will encourage you just enough to keep you close, but the moment you actually start elevating, they start finding reasons to tear you down. They'll start questioning your success. They'll start pointing out your flaws. They'll remind you of every mistake you've ever made. They'll laugh at your dreams one minute, then pretend to support you the next, only to turn around and criticize you behind your back. And if you let them, if you absorb their energy, if you start believing their words, you will become them. Negativity is contagious. It spreads like wildfire. It only takes one person planting a seed of doubt in your mind before you start doubting yourself. It only takes one negative voice before you start hearing that voice louder than your own. And before you know it, you're no longer moving with confidence. You're hesitating. You're overthinking. You're shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable. You can't let that happen. You have to recognize negativity for what it is, a tool that demons use to destroy potential. The moment you feel someone draining your energy, the moment you realize a person only brings darkness into your life, you have one job: distance yourself. You can't fix them, you can't save them, you can't convince them to see the world differently. That's their battle to fight. Your job is to keep your light shining, no matter who tries to dim it. Your job is to stay focused on your purpose, no matter who tries to distract you. Your job is to keep moving forward, no matter who tries to pull you back, because the demons and people want you to fail. They need you to fail. It makes them feel better about staying the same. And the only way to beat them: keep winning, keep growing, keep proving without saying a word that their negativity has no power over you. Silence is one of the most powerful weapons you have. In a world where everyone is talking, explaining, defending, and justifying, silence separates you. It gives you control. It forces people to wonder, to question, to respect. The moment you stop explaining yourself, the moment you stop arguing with people who don't deserve a response, you take back your power. There are people who want you to react. They want you to explain yourself so they can twist your words. They want you to defend yourself so they can poke holes in your confidence. They want you to argue, because the moment you start arguing, you've already lost. You've stepped into their arena. You've given them control over your emotions. But when you remain silent, when you refuse to be baited, when you just keep moving without stopping to acknowledge their negativity, they don't know what to do. They expect you to fight. They expect you to break down. They expect you to explain yourself like you owe them something. And when you don't, that's when they realize they have no power over you. Silence is misunderstood. People think being silent means you weak. They think it means you don't have a response. But real silence, the kind that comes from confidence, is the loudest statement you can make. When you walk into a room and don't feel the need to prove yourself, people take notice. When you succeed without explaining how or why, people start wondering. When you stay quiet while others waste their breath arguing, you show that you are above the nonsense. You ever seen a truly powerful person argue with someone beneath them? No, because they don't have to. Kings don't argue with peasants. Lions don't explain themselves to sheep. People with true power don't feel the need to prove anything. They let their presence do the talking. And that's what you have to do. The next time someone doubts you, don't argue. Show them. The next time someone questions your success, don't explain. Prove them wrong with your act. The next time someone tries to bait you into a useless debate, just smile and keep moving, because nothing frustrates small-minded people more than someone who refuses to play their game. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to sit with their own thoughts, their own doubts, their own insecurities. It makes them realize that they have no control over you, no access to your emotions, no influence over your path. And that drives them crazy. But here's the thing. That's not your problem. Your focus is on moving forward, not looking back. Your energy is meant for building, not battling. Your purpose is too big to waste time explaining yourself to people who will never understand. So keep your silence, let people talk, let them assume, let them wonder. And while they're busy running their mouths, you'll be busy running the world. Your energy is one of the most valuable things you have. It's your fuel, your power, your life force. Every thought you think, every action you take, every conversation you engage in is either adding to your energy or draining it. And too many people are walking around exhausted, not because they're working too hard, but because they're giving their energy to the wrong things. You ever feel completely drained after talking to someone? Not because the conversation was deep or meaningful, but because it was full of negativity, gossip, or pointless drama? That's not just a feeling. That's a warning. Your energy is being stolen. Every moment you spend explaining yourself to people who don't deserve an explanation, every argument you engage in that leads nowhere, every time you allow negativity into your space, you are giving away your power. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone should be able to pull on your time, your focus, your emotions. Some people see you as nothing more than an energy source. They come to you with their problems, their complaints, their doubts, not because they want solutions, but because they want to dump their baggage on you. And once they've drained you dry, they walk away feeling lighter while you're left exhausted, unfocused, and frustrated. You have to start protecting yourself. You have to start treating your energy like it's sacred, because it is. Your dreams need your energy. Your goals need your energy. Your growth, your healing, your success, all of it requires that you have enough fuel to keep going. And if you're constantly pouring into others who give nothing in return, you're going to run out. Think about the most successful, focused, and powerful people you know. Do they spend their time in meaningless arguments? Do they entertain drama? Do they explain themselves to people who will never understand? No, because they know their energy is too valuable to waste. They know that every moment spent on negativity is a moment stolen from something greater. You have to be intentional about where your energy goes. If a conversation is not building you up, it's tearing you down. If a relationship is not feeding your spirit, it's starving it. If an environment is not inspiring you, it's draining you. And if you don't take control of your energy, someone else will. Stop allowing people to pull you into their chaos. Stop responding to every little comment. Stop trying to change people who don't want to change. Some people thrive in negativity, and the moment you engage, they win. They've got your attention, your frustration, your time. And time is something you can't get back. There is peace in walking away. There is power in saying no. There is strength in choosing yourself over the nonsense that tries to distract you. When you start protecting your energy, you start attracting better things. You start feeling lighter, stronger, more focused. You stop waking up drained and start waking up driven. Because when you guard your energy, when you refuse to waste it on things that don't serve you, that's when you truly start to rise. And no force in the world, no negativity, no doubt, no distractions can stop you when you are fully charged, fully focused, and fully in control of your power. People talk too much. They explain, they defend, they argue. They try to convince others to see their worth, their vision, their potential. But the truth is, words mean nothing without action. You can spend your whole life trying to prove yourself with words, and still there will be people who doubt you, question you, and misunderstand you. So why waste your breath? Let your actions do the talking. Let your work be the proof. Let your results speak so loud that no words are needed. People will doubt you, but success will silence them. People will talk behind your back, but your progress will shut them down. People will question your ability, but your achievements will leave them speechless. Because no amount of arguing, no amount of explaining, no amount of debating will ever be as powerful as showing up and proving them wrong. You ever notice how the loudest people in the room are usually the ones doing the least? They talk about what they're going to do, what they could have done, what they should be doing. But the real players, the real winners, they don't have time to talk. They're too busy working, too busy executing, too busy winning. You don't need to announce your moves. You don't need to justify your choices. You don't need to beg people to believe in you, because when the results start showing, when the success becomes undeniable, when the transformation is too real to ignore, even your enemies will have no choice but to respect you. Some people won't support you until it's too late. They'll doubt you until they see proof. They'll criticize you until they realize they were wrong. And by the time they finally understand who you are, by the time they finally see what you're capable of, you'll already be 10 steps ahead. So stop talking and start doing. Stop trying to explain yourself to people who will never get it. Stop wasting time proving things to people who don't matter. Just put in the work, stay focused, move in silence. And one day when they least expect it, they'll look up and realize that while they were busy talking, you were busy becoming unstoppable. You don't need anyone's approval to be great. You don't need permission to chase your dreams. You don't need validation to know you're worthy. Too many people spend their lives waiting for someone to believe in them, waiting for a sign, waiting for the right time. But the truth is, the only approval you need is your own. The world will try to put you in a box. It will tell you what you can and can't do, what's realistic, what's possible. It will try to shape you based on other people's fears, their doubts, their limitations. But none of that has anything to do with you. Other people's fears are not your fears. Other people's doubts are not your doubts. And the moment you stop seeking their approval, you set yourself free. Think about how much time people waste trying to please others. They hold back on their dreams because they're afraid of what people will think. They hesitate on their goals because they're worried about judgment. They shrink themselves, dim their light, stay small, just to make others comfortable. And for what? Approval? From who? From people who wouldn't trade places with them for 1 second? From people who aren't even chasing their own dreams? No matter what you do, there will always be someone who doesn't approve. Always. You could be the kindest, most hardworking, most dedicated person, and still there will be people who criticize you, people who doubt you, people who find something wrong with what you're doing. So if you're going to be judged anyway, you might as well be judged for being great. Stop waiting for people to clap for you. Stop waiting for them to understand. Stop waiting for their validation before you take the first step. Because the truth is, some people won't approve of you no matter what you do. Not because you're wrong, but because your confidence intimidates them, because your growth exposes their stagnation, because your success reminds them of what they could have done but never did. And sometimes the people who don't approve of you are the ones closest to you, family, friends, people you thought would always support you. But you have to understand, not everyone is meant to see your vision. Not everyone is supposed to believe in you. And that's okay, because their approval is not required. You weren't put on this earth to live by someone else's expectations. You weren't given your talents, your ideas, your ambition just to ask for permission to use them. You were given a purpose, a destiny. And the only person who needs to believe in that is you. So stop explaining yourself. Stop justifying your path. Stop waiting for a green light that's never coming. Give yourself permission to prove yourself, because the moment you do, you become unstoppable. The right people won't need an explanation. They won't question your vision, your passion, or your dreams. They won't ask you to shrink yourself to make them comfortable. They won't make you feel like you have to justify who you are. The right people will get it, not because you had to convince them, but because they were meant to be in your life. Too many people waste their energy trying to explain themselves to the wrong audience. They keep hoping that if they say the right words, if they prove themselves enough, if they succeed on a level that's undeniable, then maybe, just maybe, the people around them will finally support them. But the truth is, some people will never understand you no matter how much you explain. Not because you're wrong, not because you're unclear, but because they're not meant to walk this journey with you. You ever notice how some people just get you without you having to say much? They support you not because they understand every detail of your dream, but because they believe in you. They don't need a full presentation. They don't need a list of reasons why you deserve success. They see your work ethic, your determination, your vision, and that's enough. That's what real support looks like. And then there are the others, the doubters, the skeptics, the ones who only believe in things once they're already proven. These are the people who will second guess every move you make. They'll tell you to be realistic. They'll remind you of the risks, the obstacles, the reasons it might not work. But here's the thing, their doubts belong to them, not you. You don't need to convince them. You don't need to argue. You don't need to prove anything, because the people who are meant for you, the ones who truly belong in your life, will never need that kind of proof. They will support you before the success, before the validation, before the world sees your greatness. And the ones who don't, let them go. Let them doubt, let them talk, because at the end of the day, their understanding is not required for you to succeed. Think about the most successful people in the world. Do you think everyone around them believed in them at the start? No. Many of them were doubted, criticized, laughed at, but they kept going. They focused on their mission. And eventually those same doubters became spectators watching from the sidelines, wondering how they missed it. The right people will celebrate you, encourage you, push you forward, not hold you back. They will add to your energy, not drain it. They will see your value even when the world doesn't. And those are the only people you should be concerned with. So stop explaining yourself to the wrong ones. Stop looking for approval in places where it will never come. Focus on your journey and trust that the right people will align with you when the time is right. Until then, keep moving, keep building, keep growing, because the right people won't need an explanation. They'll just know. You were not put on this earth to play small. You were not given dreams, talents, and purpose just to spend your life doubting yourself, explaining yourself, or waiting for permission to be great. You were born with power, real power, but it's up to you to walk in it. Too many people go through life holding back. They dim their light so others won't feel uncomfortable. They shrink themselves to fit into spaces they've outgrown. They wait for someone else to tell them they're good enough, smart enough, worthy enough. But the truth is, the moment you stop waiting, the moment you stop seeking approval and step fully into your power, that's when everything changes. Walking in your power means knowing who you are without needing validation. It means trusting yourself even when others don't see your vision. It means refusing to lower yourself to meet people who were never meant to rise with you. Because the higher you go, the more you'll realize not everyone can handle your light. Not everyone can walk this path with you. And that's okay. When you walk in your power, you stop explaining yourself. You stop trying to prove things to people who will never understand. You stop getting caught up in distractions and negativity, in doubt. Instead, you focus, you build, you move with confidence, knowing that everything meant for you will come. Not because you begged for it, but because you became the person capable of receiving it. Some people won't like it when you step into your power. They'll say you've changed. They'll call you arrogant. They'll try to remind you of the old version of yourself, the one that played small, the one that doubted, the one that used to explain, but you don't owe them an explanation. Growth is not arrogance. Confidence is not ego. Walking in your power is not about thinking you're better than others. It's about knowing that you don't have to prove anything to them. You were given a purpose. You were given gifts. And every day you hesitate, every day you dim your light, every day you hold yourself back to make others comfortable, you are wasting what was given to you. There will always be people who doubt you. There will always be people who question you. But their opinions do not define you. Your power comes from within. And the moment you own that, The moment you stop explaining, stop justifying, stop asking for permission to be great, that's when you truly become unstoppable. So walk in your power, speak with confidence, move with purpose, and never, never let anyone make you feel like you need to be less than what you were meant to be. Because when you own your greatness, when you stop explaining yourself to people who will never understand, you don't just step into your destiny, you command it. So today I challenge you, stop explaining yourself to people who will never get it. Stop justifying your dreams to those who have let their demons control them. Stop wasting your breath on people who don't want to see you win. Walk in your power. Move in silence. Let your success be your response. Because when you stop explaining yourself to demons and people, you free yourself to become everything you were meant to be.